Alright then, we're going to give the gold wing a compression test today. I don't suspect anything odd's going to come out of it, since the thing starts and runs really nice, and no clatter, mechanical sounds, or smoke, which is all good. So I'll just give her a test, give her a compression test, see what happens. And
there you go, cylinder 1, 160. That's looking good. 160. So this cylinder is 145, 160. The other two are 160. So that's a bit low for sure. To do some further investigation, and well, it's pretty weird that one would just be that low. Could maybe a sticking valve on the one cylinder, because your piston rings wouldn't wear out just on one cylinder. Probably a sticking valve, which can be loosened up with time, or a little bit of sea foam or something like that, or spin it around a bit. Lots of things you can do. I think this has automatic or auto adjusting tappet, so it's not going to be a tappet adjustment, although it could be a sticking tappet too. That's another option, but I didn't hear any ticking coming from this area. So a couple things to check, but it's not seriously low. Well, just good to know. So here's the results from the compression test on a cold engine, and you got that one outlier, pretty strange, low, about 10%. So anyways, I go back and read the service manual like I should have done in the first place, and find that you need to do this on a warm motor. You need the compression test on a warm motor. So back to the drawing board, and let's give it a run through on a warm motor. All right, it's improved a bit, 150. I'm sure the other ones are up there too. All right, cylinders on the other side, the left side of the bike. That's weird, 150 after warming up. Okay, last one. Oh, throttle wide open. Here we go. Well, 150.
so the second run through with a warm motor gives you equal PSI on every cylinder. Isn't that strange? Why the three would go down and one would go up?
Okay, I can't even begin to think how that works. When it's cold, we got 4 cylinders. The two front were 160, the left rear was 160, and then the right side, when you're sitting on it, rear was 145. Then I read in the manual you heat the motor up, which then I run all the compression tests again, and they're all 150. So something's the tappets, I guess, maybe they need to be run hot. Sure is weird. Anyway, everything at 150. I know the manual says 185, but this is not a new machine, so it's much better to have them all similar than one way off or two way off, because two way off or low means a blown head gasket usually, which is not good, but not impossible to fix. But yeah, one low one, yeah, really low, like 10% or 20% lower, is not good. So this is a bit of a curiosity. I'd like to find out why warming up the motor makes such a difference. But yeah, that's another check mark pass, so I'm going to order tires and a battery now, because I think I'm pretty safe to go ahead.
Okay, so I did some research and didn't find any definitive conclusions on why that pressure would change so much. All I can figure is that the tolerances all got in line, and at least the one low one went up. The other ones went down for some reason, which still doesn't make any sense. But I think the moral of the story here is you got to get the service manual to start with, because I went to about 4 or 5 different manufacturers, Honda, Suzuki, Harley, etc., and they all, without a doubt, had a different process. Some said take the air cleaner out. The others said torque the head bolts, and another one said adjust the valves. So everyone's slightly different, and they may have different reasons, but I think they're all pretty much the same in warm the motor up. But I don't know, going in and checking a cold motor and then checking it warm is kind of interesting too. So I guess that wraps it up. The Goldwing passed its compression test, I'd say. And one little note, I had to go buy a brand new compression tester because the adapters that I had left on my old one wouldn't fit. So maybe I had it and I lost it, who knows. But I think a tip there, when you go buy an adapter, a compression tester, get as many conversion tips or adapters as you can. Cause you never know what's coming down the pipe, and go out and buy a brand new compression tester just because you don't have the adapter sucks. So I'll put some links in the show notes there, and to some decent ones, and link to my the website on how to avoid common compression test errors. And I have to say, if it's not on there, number one is read your manual first, guys. I'm guilty of it, and it's more fun to get started and mess around, and then you realize later that you should have read the manual. So first stop is the manual. Anyway, that wraps her up for today.